What's up, guys? Nose Misses here. Today we'll be talking about the Portland Trailblazers. Make sure to subscribe and comment for more content. So today, I'm gonna be talking about the Trailblazers. I mean, they're like 4-4 right now, and I mean they just look like the same team that happened last year. I mean they acquired Robert Covington, but he's been struggling. He's been shooting like 32% from three, and he's like not even averaging and he's playing average defense, and like from what I saw from what I saw from the games, they usually put him on the best defender, and he has kind of been struggling with that. I don't think he's a good one-on-one defender, but he's a great team defender. Like if you could have him on the second best, third best, like he will lock onto people if they're playing off ball, but on ball I don't think he's like that. But yeah, I mean they have Enes Kanter as their backup five. That is automatically not good. I mean, good post player for probably like in the 2000s and everything. Good offensive rebounder, or just good rebounder in general. But he's not a good defensive player right now. And with their defensive limitation, you can see that they're really missing Zach Collins. Zach Collins is like injured, and he's out for indefinitely for surgery, and they just haven't been able to get the same consistency with Enes Kanter. I mean, Enes Kanter, like he's been playing all right, but defensively he just gets picked apart. I mean, they have him dropping down on the screens, but yeah, like he still can't even like keep up with them, yeah, with the guards in general. And he's not a really great post defender. I mean, he's all right. He's like an average, but nothing really too good there. Rodney Hood is back, so that should increase the depth of this team. But he hasn't been really like 2 days ago was his first game against the I think Raptors. No, it wasn't the Raptors. It was some team, and he looked all right. I think he's looking to play for a contract. I think he's been. I saw him chucking up shots and everything. I don't know if it's him trying to get in the rhythm, but he didn't really play too good in his first game back. I talked about the Zach Collins injury first earlier, and I mean, yeah, it sucks, and he's out indefinitely. But I think this year, I think they're really missing him because, I mean, when you have two defensive only offensive players with CJ and Dame, and then you have that's it, and you don't really have a good defensive player. Everybody else needs to be at least average to above average defensively if your two stars are not defensive players. And they try to replicate what happened 2 years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals with like Alfred Alcamino, Mo Harkless. They got Derrick Jones Jr., average defender. He's a slasher, shoots decent from corner three. But yeah, then they gave up assets for Robert Covington, like a first round pick and like something else. And he hasn't kind of been living up right now. He's playing all right, but he hasn't been worth that trade, and it looks like the Rockets would be winning that trade right now. They're also, for one of their lineups, they are also running like Cantor with Melo, and that lineup's so like bad defensively. Like Melo, like he's a good offensive power forward but defensively, dude gets picked apart, and he's too slow to be a small forward right now in his career. So yeah, but when you have Melo with Cantor, they give up. It's like an automatic point in the paint or something like that. So yeah, or they get switched on to like a guard or something, a decent guard or something that knows how to pick out the mismatches. Then yeah, I would just give that a point. So I think they need to stop giving Enes Kanter like less minutes. I mean, I don't know who they could trade for. There's always, I mean, you just need somebody that's long and that could be decently mobile enough. Yeah, but yeah. Dame needs to. He's been playing alright, but there's this thing when Steph Curry was like not playing good, everybody was like saying Dame is the best player in the NBA or best point guard, and Dame's better than Steph Curry. I'm a Damian Lillard fan. I've been a Damian Lillard fan ever since he made that shot over the Rockets in that playoff in the 2014-15 playoffs, I think. And ever since that I've been a Damian Lillard fan. He's not better than Steph. Steph Curry's the probably best shooter of all time, and he's also just the best point guard. Best point guard ever modern era. He's probably second best behind Magic Johnson, and Damian Lillard is not even like a top 5 point guard of all time right now. So yeah, hot take, but kill me if you want to. But he's been playing out. He's had turnover. He's been very turnover hungry. Like, I don't know if it's because he's trying to find more of the open players open and everything, but yeah. And the record is not even that bad as it looks. I mean, the only bad team they lost to were the Bulls, and that would be a little worried. But the rest of the teams have been like the Clippers. They won against the Warriors once, and then they lost to the Warriors again once. But they lost on with like Steph Curry going off for like 62 points. So yeah, the rest of their losses are like to playoff teams or players that have career nights. So yeah. Now I'm gonna talk about some of their players. Gary Trent been doing what he's been doing, shooting the ball. He's a good defensive player for being like 6'4", 6'5". Rodney Hood is back. I'm kind of excited about that. He should increase their depth at the wing position. Maybe give Melo less minutes. I mean, he's 6'7". I think he could play the 4 a little bit, like for like 10 minutes a game. And then you have Anthony Simons. I mean, last game he was looking alright. One of the games he was looking alright. He put up some points, but I keep hearing on like NBA Reddit or the Portland Trailblazers Reddit or on Twitter that Anthony Simons is some type of player, and like they're just waiting. Hey man, at some point you just gotta put up you gotta put up numbers and you gotta contribute to winning. I know he puts up these. And he looks really good. He looks like he has a good handle, and he looks like he's an actual NBA player. But at this point, they've been holding on to him, and they're like reluctant to give him to somebody else. And I'm like, man, he's an asset, and I know he's like 20 or something. He's been in the league for like 2 years already. But you just gotta put him in the deep end at some point, and it feels like they kind of been sheltering him by giving him like garbage minutes or something like that. Who else? I mean, there's Nazir Little hasn't played a lot. I remember during the bubble he tested positive for COVID, and then he like passed out from dehydration or something. He was a first round pick. He very raw player. He has an NBA body, but does he have the talent to just do what he could do? That's the thing. And I just don't know. Very raw prospect. Harry Giles hasn't been playing good. I mean, Harry Giles, I was very excited for him. I was very excited to get him as a Portland Trailblazers fan, but he hasn't really been showing too much. I mean, he was the number one ranked high school recruit like 4 years ago coming out of high school, and he just hasn't really shown anything so far. And then they acquired Derrick Jones Jr. after an injury with Miami Heat. Very explosive player, above average defender, shoots corner threes at a decent rate. I mean, that's like a replacement for Alcorda Firmino or like Mo Harkless or something. Then yeah, I like it. I think he's on a cheap deal too. So yeah, but this team is decent. I think defensively they're not good. Offensively they're gonna get carried by CJ and Dame. I don't really need to explain that, but yeah. But that I think this team is probably like a fifth through 8 seed. I think it could go like that. Not a top 5 seed. New Yusuf Nurkic has been playing alright, nothing spectacular. I mean, he's like, I feel like I could compare him to Marcin Gortat, like in his prime when he was playing with John Wall. Good role player, good player, good starting center, good defensive center, and he's just doing whatever he has to do to get the dub. So yeah, CJ's been playing good. Dame's been struggling a little bit. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe if you guys want to, like the video, and share. All right, I'll see you later. No misses out.